Hi, Christina. It's
Hi,
nice.
Cheryl.
It's nice to see you again.
It's nice to see you again.
It's been quite a while since we last met a few years back over at the Hollywood American Legion Post. We have a great post over there. I'm really happy that you're a guest on my show this year because you have a very unique background yourself. And I know that you are probably not what people think of when they hear the word Marine. Why specifically the Marine Corps? Because the Marine Corps, they're tough.
I didn't make the Laker girls, and I was coming home from the Great Western Forum, which is now SoFi Stadium, where our Rams took the win the Super Bowl 2022. And
Yay.
this white Gov ride was driving down the main boulevard in Culver City and said, "Hey, you in the red biker shorts, I'm going to make you one of the greatest women Marines ever." I go, "No, you're not." He goes, "Yes, I am. Have you ever heard of the ASVAB?" And I said, "My mom told me never to talk to strangers in uniform," but I was hypnotized from that moment on. And at the time, I had been going to Santa Monica College. I had been cheerleading for over 10 years and also with drill team. And I decided, you know what? I knew I was a communicator because I also had been on the yearbook committee and the newspaper committee as well. And I just knew from that moment with the Marine Corps uniform, I was going to do it.
Well, very good. So you were in for 8 years, is that right?
Actually, I served one term in the Marine Corps of 4 years, and at 3 years and 8 months and approximately 11 days, I was injured during rigorous deployment training going to the Persian Gulf.
Okay, so you're a service-connected disabled veteran for the Disabled American Veterans, which is a fantastic organization because they do so much for our disabled veterans. And you know my story that my parents were service-connected disabled veterans, so I was born into a military family. Your family military at all?
Yes, I have a long history of military family members that served in our United States Army. I'm so proud of my father, who was a US Army Vietnam era veteran. He left behind many benefits and knowledge pieces from his past. And when he passed away, I was actually in the United States Marine Corps. So I know what it is to serve and then to get that knock on the door that you lose a parent. And I know for many Vietnam era veterans back then, shell shock was called shell shock, but it's PTSD. And I want to thank my dad for all that he did to raise us the best that he could. But looking back in time, he may have very well suffered from PTSD. He was an amazing longtime supporter, very, very outgoing, led his own businesses, and also drove a truck for many years. And when he passed away, he did so with honors. And so I'm thankful for that.
Well, see, you also had, he was a great example for you, and that's why you joined the service. And really, most women, as you know, they don't even think about joining the service, really, because I think it's less than, I think it's about 5% of the total US population serves in the military. And even a smaller percentage are women who are willing and able and want to be part of the military. And I know for you, but I'm just going to say for myself, it was one of the best decisions I ever made. And I'm sure you're going to tell me the same thing, because I know you're very actively involved in your own nonprofit. And I'd love for you to talk a little bit about what inspired you to start your nonprofit and how you educate the veteran community. Because really, in actuality, you and I have very similar goals. And it is, how do we tell the veterans, get out of the house, get involved, join a veteran service organization or a nonprofit that works on behalf of veterans? And that's what you've created. And I'd like to hear that story, why you created it and how you outreach to veterans.
Most definitely. Thank you, Cheryl. I do want to say first, before we get into the founding of Camies #2 Civies, Camies #2 Civies really is part of how I have been able to recoup, recover, and refocus focus my attention on giving back to the veteran community. And when I lost my dad and I was serving on active duty, it wasn't until after I got out of the military that I realized my dad had served. So also with regard to my own benefits and earning them, it took me more than 20 years after I got out of the military to find out that I was disabled and entitled to such benefits in housing, health, education, and employment. That's why your motto in Veterans Helping Veterans is truly a gem. And when I say gem, when veterans realize that they have earned their benefits and they start to redeem their benefits, they need a helping hand like Camies to Civies and CRS Productions to refer to give them the courage and the hand up they need to get to what they earned. So that's why I founded Camies to Civies with my sons in 2015 to help everyone transform, adapt, and overcome. And it starts with knowing that you deserve your benefits, right, Cheryl?
Yes, ma'am, because they don't just give them to you. You have to earn those benefits, right?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. So I want to say a fellow hoorah and semper fi to all the Marines. I want to say a fellow semper fi and hoorah, because learning to redeem your benefits, that's how I found the DAV. And the DAV was one of the many forefront organizations that I visited in a 14-year career working at the retiree activities office with our elite Air Force in Los Angeles. LA Air Force Base has been my home for going on 15 years. Can you believe it, Cheryl?
Wow.
And I served in the Marine Corps as a personnel specialist, just like you, before computers. And then when the unit diary team came into effect and computers hit in 1990, I decided that I would like to be selected for a different military occupational specialty. So they sent me to the Nuclear, Biological, and Chemical Warfare School to do a form of administration, but at the same time, it was the era when Rodney King was injured, and also when Marines were doing a lot of unscrupulous deeds with regard to like supply. And I worked in the NJP department in service records to help them get a way to recover from being punished by the UCMJ, which is the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So I know all about deranking and the brig, and also teaching Marines how to recover. So if you're out there and you're listening to about many ways to get to your benefits, know that if you have a dishonorable discharge or any other general discharge that you want to reform, the VA has benefits, legal assistance, also a way for you to tell your story. Because Cheryl, I haven't ever shared this before on the air, I actually suffered from an AWOL potential conviction when my dad passed away. When you're in the military and you're in uniform, you have got to listen to those orders down to the clock's millisecond. Well, my airline at the ripe age of 19 years old was late. So there was no way to call my commanding officer at MAG 16 in Tustin at the time. And I missed getting back to the duty station on time, and they called it AWOL. I was scared to death. I did not know what to do. But learning to educate yourself about Marine Corps regulations, communicating, and everything turned that potential charge into a meritorious mast during wartime and bereavement. So if you're out there, be encouraged. We all have a story, and shows like the Christina Silva Show, Educating Our Veterans Live, and community charities and community educational government programming like Veterans Helping Veterans TV, it truly does make a world of difference to fellow veterans. So thanks for having me today on your show.
Of course, I'm delighted. And we've known each other for a long time. I think it's really interesting that your military background was the same as mine, basically personnel specialist. Somebody has to keep the records because without records, everything is chaos. So you have to, every person in the military back in the day, in the old days, it was hard copy and it was 201 files. Everything is digitized now. So different system, but the record keeping is the key to everything you do in the military. If it's not recorded in your records,
Yes.
it did not happen, correct?
That's true. I just want to say, as an encouragement to everyone, the military is for you most times, not against you. And so there's always a way to make the best out of every situation. And so I've spent my career educating veterans on how to persevere, how to have creative resiliency solutions, and truly how to understand the documents they sign when they serve. And also when you get out, how to learn how to write for yourself what happened to you in the military. It was the best decision I ever made. Now, the extensive injuries that I suffered, those I deal with every day, but I am grateful that I am strong, that I'm an overcomer, that I'm a female veteran in a small percentage that served to be a public figure and a voice that's honored and heard all over the world, telling the stories of heroism like yours on the Christina Silva show. It's truly gratifying to give back and to save lives and to help our retirees of all the eras. Recently, 17 more classes, including our valued reservists, also may be able to claim their benefits. Isn't that great, Cheryl?
It is great because, see, here's the thing. We just finished 20-year war, the never-ending war. So now it's ended, and all of these veterans that are coming back from that and getting discharged from the military, one, in my opinion, they deserve the golden ticket. And number two, it is available to you if you understand your benefits as a veteran. And I'm going to put this plug in for any veteran service organization. They have so many, like the American Legion, the Disabled American Veterans, the Veterans of Foreign Wars, and many, many others are created as an outreach to get veterans that may be self-isolating for a variety of reasons, get them out of the house, encourage them to join your group or the American Legion or whatever group. All these groups have different, for instance, in the American Legion, they have the riders. So if you're into motorcycles and you like riding and that's your lifestyle, man, that's an amazing group. Over at the Hollywood American Legion are the riders. Get involved, do something, because when you're active and you participate in these groups, not only are you helping others, but the actuality is you're really helping yourself as well as other people.
Most definitely, Cheryl. In fact, I've been motorcycling, and another extra duty I had in the Marine Corps was teaching Marines how to ride, which I still do 31 years later on two wheels, raising awareness and funds and doing what's called check rides. Amateur, novice, and expert riding brings our troops together. Camies to Civies. My sons rode on the back, strapped to me since Camp Pendleton and Tustin, where I served. And my son was born as the first baby to Sand Canyons Hospital in Irvine. The military treated me well the whole entire time, and my sons have utilized their benefits at State College that I earned, and they truly understand military service and disabilities and recovery from a secondary standpoint. So to families and to those that are serving, get down to your military and veterans affairs amazing Bob Hope Patriotic Hall in Los Angeles. What an amazing 8 floors dedicated to our military families and to Bob Hope for creating such a beautiful historical monument. Millions of dollars of wealth exist in those buildings, from your benefits to the architecture. Go on down and meet our deputy, Stephanie Stone, our fellow friend, and Brigadier General retired Ruth Wong. They will welcome you to get to your benefits with one-stop shopping and an easy application process. In fact, some of the organizations we've been mentioning, like the DAV, Purple Heart Organization, the American Legion before the pandemic, and I'm soon to say without the masks needed anymore, you can even choose one of those organizations to help you because they have space at the Bob Hope Patriotic Hall to help you understand how to file your claim. Right, Cheryl?
Exactly right. And if you are not in the Los Angeles area and you can't physically get there, check out if you're in the state of California, and most states have a county veteran service officer, and they act as a liaison between the veteran and applying for potential benefits through the VA system. So if you cannot get to LA to the incredible Bob Hope Patriotic Hall in downtown LA, please Google your county veteran service officer, because they are a starting point for you to get benefits. And I want to tag on something that you just said a few minutes ago, Christina. A lot of people don't know that if you are the son or a daughter of a service connected disabled veteran, that you can go to college for free under the GI Bill. Your children can go to college for free because you're service connected disabled veteran. Now, that benefit alone is so amazing, because if you're service connected, yes, your children can go to college for free under the California State University system. It's pretty awesome. It's an incredible benefit. And I'm so glad your son is taking advantage of that and is doing that as well, because it's there. And if you don't use these benefits, and your children don't use the benefits that they kind of inherit from you in a way, over time, they want to take those benefits away. So the more people that use those benefits, the longer those benefits stay in place. Perfect examples: GI Bill for education and the GI Bill for buying a home, right?
Not to mention, Cheryl, DMV, fishing and parks licensure, also savings, all kinds of military discounts are available. And my company and my charity has the opportunity to share that I'm a government contractor after the military. I've been working consistently with the military since I got out of the Marines in 1993. I educated myself as a real estate broker. So I have the license in California and now Nevada to help our military families understand the capability they have to buy versus rent. My license number is 01260394, and also to translate our benefits into other languages on the air, English and Spanish. So important for our parents and our kids and their in-laws to understand their rights and benefits, because you need to create a tribe around you. When you first get out of the military, you're traumatized trying to go from Camies to Civies. Being a civilian, you still have the responsibility to take control of your resume, the job search, your mental health, looking for education, or trying to translate what you learned in the military into a civilian job. It's demanding, and we need help. And there's a lot of help out there. One award that we had earned with my company, CRS Productions, is to rewrite and participate in the Department of Veterans Affairs at California's Veterans Resources book. So there is great help now digitally at CalVet. So working with the California Department of Veterans Affairs is part of my history, and I couldn't have done it without Staff Sergeant of the U.S. Army retired, Ferran Dozier. That's when we met. Trench talk. He is out in the IE working. He's an amazing staff sergeant, and we have to remember as veterans where we came from. Who are our battle buddies? Who can we count on? Veterans Helping Veterans TV is a resource that I found, and I had the great honor of reaching back to Cheryl years and years ago. I met her, but I reached out currently to give her props for what she's doing. And it matters because people care. But as social media takes more precedence in our lives, we have to phone a friend. So I utilized LinkedIn, but then I asked Cheryl to call me because I'm still a little bit old fashioned. And now we have a show where two hosts are working together for the greater good. And that is what military members do. When we're disabled American veterans, we need each other in one way or another.
You know, the one thing the military teaches you is to think of others before yourself, and to live a life of service, because you survive combat situations by looking out for your buddy, and your buddy's looking out for you. That's the way it is. And when you get out of the military, you don't lose that. And one of the ways to continue that, and we keep saying this, get involved in a veteran service organization like the American Legion that has the riders if you're into motorcycles, because that appeals to you and that's what you want to do is ride. Well, there's a not just the American Legion, but whatever medium you feel you need to heal yourself and make yourself whole, there is probably a veteran service organization out there that does that. And one that I think of that I'm involved with in the LA area and that I can't say enough of because they've been wonderful to me personally is the Veterans in Media and Entertainment, the VME. So if you're interested in working in the business, in the entertainment, in the film, in streaming video, in that industry, if you're a young veteran getting out and now, and that's your goal, I cannot say enough good things about the Veterans in Media Entertainment, and you are welcome to join them. And now that a lot of the restrictions, the COVID restrictions are being lifted in LA, I can't think, besides the American Legion Hollywood Post, I can't think of a better organization for potential storytellers to get involved with than the Veterans in Media Entertainment.
Oh, yes.
What made you start Camies to Civies?
Wow, I found a gap in communication. And when the world started going with all these different platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, even more heavily so, I wanted to keep things in print. I wanted to keep people in person. I wanted to give a human face-to-face contact point and platform to our military families. And so my specialty in partnering our private organization with the Air Force as a Marine truly led to breaking barriers on base. It's a very coveted position we've held over the last 14 years, creating the Retiree Expo and sponsoring it, giving back forms of branded promotional materials, literary materials, and also clothing and food, and just being there to give a hand up to talk about most of the resources you've mentioned. So we had kind of a grab bag exhibitor table presence at many of the events the military would put on. And again, our forces on active duty have a wide array of different systems to keep the military family supported and engaged. I'm very, very impressed that even in my era, I knew there was a chaplain's office, a readiness center, career fair center, and also the morale and welfare recreation centers of the world. And so I found my home there. And when I look back at my military career and the meritorious mask wording that I received on my award, I'm still that person, producing in a wartime, producing under pressure, producing events that educate and empower others, readiness, how to deploy, what to be ready for, riding a motorcycle and shooting weapons. Those were some of the areas that I excelled. And I just took all of those together and created CRS Productions, got my general contracting license as a service administrator and consultant, and then educated in real estate. And I wanted to help others know about their benefits, because when I learned about mine and the DAV helped me become 100% disabled, I wanted to pay it forward. And so charity is the greatest gift. Charity is a business. And so when I learned more about how to give back, then I started helping others become entrepreneurs when they got out of the military. And that is so key, because some of the pay rates that you get when you serve 25, 30 years in the military, Walmart $8.75 is not going to feed a family of four, much less appreciate you for your service. So a lot of the organizations you mentioned, especially VME, helped me get a start in media. So did the LA Film Academy and the New York Film Academy. They gave me a chance to use my GI Bill and my vocational rehab package to be in film and television as a communicator while I was preparing programs to give back in arts, music, media, and entertainment. And then on the other hand, we have programs in resources, navigational pathways, and family health. It really works.
It really does work. As long as you're willing, and this is a theme we've been talking about for a while here, you have to empower yourself to figure out what you can do and to find the organizations that can help you achieve those goals. Because That's what it's all about. I mean, as a veteran, you're fighting for your chance at the American dream. Well, these organizations, the American Legion, the VFW, the Disabled American Veterans, and so many veteran groups exist for two reasons. One is to create legislation on behalf of hospitalized and disabled veterans. That's their ultimate goal. But secondly, is to educate you on your benefits and help you achieve your dream, whatever that dream may be, whether it's a career, whether it's working in the entertainment industry, whether it's like yourself, you're actively involved in the Disabled American Veterans. Tell people why it's important for them to take the time and consider joining veteran service organization, and how you help veterans directly, indirectly educate them about filing for and obtaining service-connected disability rating, because it's not an easy process.
Correct. Well, as a reporter and host and creator of the Christina Silva Show for over 15 years, I sought out an interview with the adjutant of the Department of California, who is a U.S. Army veteran. And I also sought out an interview with the first female national DAV commander, U.S. Army retiree. What amazing goals I had as a bold US Marine, and I ended up learning more and more about the DAV. I did take on a staff position there for a while and learned from these two mentors how to become the National DAV Assistant to the Adjutant, which is the voice of the world that shares legislative updates the DAV has accomplished. And in their centennial provision of this advocacy to our military veterans and their families that are disabled, the DAV truly has given me so much. The way I wanted to give back is to become a chapter service officer. So every year, the DAV's rungs of their helpers, from the CSO to the DSO to the NSO, that's district and national service officers, they reach the veteran where they are. They have offices embedded into the Military and Veterans Affairs, Bob Hope Patriotic Hall, also in the VA hospitals, and they have regional offices that partner with the American Legion under one roof, or they have standalone pieces of real estate like the Department of California headquarters in Santa Fe Springs, and they concentrate on helping the veteran file their claim. But there is no guarantee there will be a rating, but the DAV is exceptional in handling most of the overflow of the VA's backlog of claims. So I'm so grateful to give you guys the reference to the davcal.org website, or if you're in another state, dav.org.
Yeah, we can't say enough good things about the DAV. Actually, all the major veteran service organizations exist really to help veterans. The overall, their primary goal is to pass legislation on behalf of veterans. The secondary goal is to persuade the veteran to not only just join, but participate in activities within that organization, because that's the key. You can't just live an isolated life. Really, to heal yourself, figure out what interests you, find a group that presents that, and join it, because in healing others, it's like a boomerang effect. It heals you as well.
One more thing about the DAV that I learned over the years, I'm going to their upcoming conference. It's going to be held in the Palm Springs area. Is now that we're having the mask mandate lifted, you are welcome to come and see the DAV operate in person. They migrated and created a great online system to ask for help on your claim, or even just ask questions, but more so to commune with your comrades. The DAV Fun Night is amazing over the years, and I would love to give a special kudos to our national past commander, Delphine Metcalf Foster, for her accomplishments. She has been an amazing mentor to me. You can find her story on my website of her accomplishments, and she's in Vallejo, California, still making more rights for women veterans, because Women's History Month is coming up. Also to Adjutant Contreras, he's part of our national line of the DAV. He taught me how to be a true communicator, how to ghostwrite some speeches that he's given over the years to appreciate America's heroes. And as part of the community of DAV heroes, I'm so honored that it's one of the biggest awards and accomplishments I've ever received. And to Mark Burgess and the team, thank you so much for helping me to help others, confidently knowing the DAV has our back when we need to file a claim.
what you and I and so many other people I know that are trying to make a difference once they get out of the military is because you discover, in order to make yourself happier, find a way to give back to somebody else. And I do it through the VHB TV. You do it through your own program, and you do it through your nonprofit. It's like we just want to help. Nothing better than what you're doing is you're being an example of being involved and learning how the VA works and how they give veterans service connected disability rating. That is truly an education not to be missed.
Yes, I'm grassroots with boots on the ground as a CSO too, and I love to refer my fellow veterans to their benefit service providers. That's all it takes, is to become an information resource and a platform through educating our veterans live. It truly does save my life. Volunteerism. First host that has allowed me to share the true premise, foundation, and future of Camies to Civies, and to share our work. Even though we're small, it's not about what you get back, it's what you give out to others that truly makes that centrifugal force permeate, make change, and make people know that they matter, they're valued, and they belong. Because that's all veterans really need and look for, is that same essence of camaraderie, shelter, safety, and support. So today has been remarkable, coming onto your television show to personify your motto, and that is to inform, educate, and motivate. And mine is to transform, adapt, and overcome. As Marines and Army soldiers, together we know we have to do that, constantly inform ourselves, educate ourselves, and motivate ourselves.